Hi, welcome to the Badass Breastfeeding Podcast. This is Dianne, your lactation consultant.
And this is Abby, the Badass Breastfeeder. And today's episode is brought to you by Similry Breast Pumps. Similry Breast Pumps are ultra tiny, as small as a sticky note, or fully adjustable pumps with 85 combination settings. Either way, you're in control of your pumping journey. And we will hear more from our sponsor later, but you can head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com and check out our sponsor page. If you ever need anything, see if you can give any of them your business because they make this podcast possible. While you're there, scroll down and enter your email address, and we will send episodes straight to your inbox every week. And we are on Patreon. We would like to see you on Patreon hanging out with us with our original content and our Zoom hangouts every month. And you can head to the link at the top of the show notes under this episode, wherever you're listening from, and see if any of the tiers look good for you. And we're still hosting our ongoing giveaway of people who leave reviews around the internet, whether it's written reviews or stars or whatever your app allows. Are there other apps besides iTunes and Spotify that allow reviews? Because I feel like that's the only ones that I see.
That's the only ones I see too.
Yeah. But yeah, if your podcast allows you to leave a review, go ahead and take a screenshot and send it to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com. And we will send you a goodie bag of thank you for nursing in public cards and podcast stickers and fun stuff like that.
We really do it.
Yeah, we do it all the time. And if you are waiting for your package and you haven't gotten it, send an email to badassbreastfeedingpodcast@gmail.com. I think I'm pretty good at keeping track of the addresses, but I'm not perfect. So if you didn't get yours, just send an email and I'll figure out whether I messed up or not. Or if it's sitting at, some border customs somewhere.
Oh, God.
Yes. And this does count for everybody in the world.
Yes. Doesn't matter where you are. We've sent them all over the place.
Yeah. I think, didn't we send one to South Africa recently?
I think so. Yeah.
That's fun.
And we've sent them to Europe.
Yeah. We send them all around. So, so go ahead and do that. And let's see. Dianne has our review of the week.
Yes. And this actually came from Spotify. She left us a rating on Spotify, but wanted to also write us a formal review, which was really nice. So I wanted to read that for you guys. My birth, unfortunately, did not go the way that I planned, as birth often does. After an emergency C-section, I was unable to have immediate skin-to-skin with my baby, and I was concerned with our inability to bond. Fortunately, I listened to this podcast while I was pregnant and learned a lot of breastfeeding basics from Abby and Dianne. Establishing breastfeeding made a world of difference and gave us the connection I longed for. It is my favorite part about motherhood, and we are going strong at 4 months. This podcast has grown with my baby and me as we have navigated my return to work, introducing the bottle, having the occasional drink at a family gathering, and every other topic. I am so grateful for this resource, and I tell all of my pregnant friends to tune in. Thank you for supporting me through this journey that means so very much to me and my little one. That was so sweet.
Love it.
And people really do get concerned. Like, it's wild because like when my son was born, which is, oh my God, almost 25 years ago, he's going to be 25 on the 22nd. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
I know. Nobody talked about skin to skin. Like that wasn't a thing. We never did skin to skin ever.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't what they were doing.
Yeah.
And we still were able to bond through breastfeeding. That really made us a very special bond. But now there's so much emphasis on skin to skin, which I think is amazing. And I push it all the time too, even though I wasn't able to do it, but I push it all the time. And people really do get worried that they're not going to be able to bond if they didn't have that skin to skin time. And you still can. You still will bond. You still have, and skin to skin isn't only like immediately after birth and then you never do it again either. You can do skin to skin all the time with your baby. And it will help. It'll give them all those benefits that skin to skin always does give them too.
Yeah. I mean, all of these things are made to facilitate bonding amongst a whole host of other things as well. But people bond with their babies. I mean, if you have a double mastectomy and you don't breastfeed, you're still going to bond with your baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's not like, oh, you breastfeeding is so good for bonding, and if you don't do it, you don't get to bond with your baby. That's not at all what anyone should ever be saying to you.
No. Mm-mm. No, there's definitely ways to bond.
But anyway, but skin to skin wasn't being pushed, and now it is, and that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that thank you so much for sharing the joy and encouraging other people to listen as well, because we want everybody to get the info. So anybody who's pregnant and listening while you're pregnant is the best.
Yeah.
Because then you know what's going on.
Yeah. And yeah, this is coming from two people who didn't know shit before they
oh my God,
gave birth. But how great would it have been to have just like heard some stuff? I mean, I don't think I had the spoons, as they say, to put a lot of emphasis, because I was so focused on the birth. But there are so many people who are listening, and they're like, I'm pregnant and I'm listening, and that's great.
I read saw this thing recently. I was like flabbergasted, where it said that like 70% of people take a childbirth class when they're pregnant, and only like 20% of people take a breastfeeding class.
Yeah.
Something like, it was very, very offset. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I knew that breastfeeding classes or breastfeeding preparation were not as popular, but I didn't realize it was that much of a difference. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because to prepare for breastfeeding, I guess, is just not the thing to do.
Well, I think everyone's so scared of birth.
I think so too.
And maybe we can do something about that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we can do some more education around like how birth is normal, and how, because these are things that we don't want to talk to kids about, because, it might make them have sex and have babies if we talk to them about birth.
God, so
and
stupid.
Then you always see in a high school health class, they'll show like a birth, a video of a birth on like a video.
Yep.
Where the person is like, I mean, of course there is some screaming. But it's like so alarming, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yep. That's all that they do.
They're like, there you go.
There's birth.
Yeah. So of course, now you're just like terrified of it for the rest of your life.
And you never hear I don't know, you just never hear a good story. Every once in a while, I'll hear somebody else say to me when I ask them how was their birth, somebody will say, it was absolutely perfect. I don't hear it that often.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I will hear that.
Yeah.
Usually it's not a pretty story.
Yeah. And that's what we think as well, is just being like, well, that's how it is. It's just traumatic. And that's how that means it was normal.
What is normal when it comes to birth? Is there anything that...
Yeah, no, I don't know. Unfortunately, that is actually quite normal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to talk about what body changes happen when you're breastfeeding.
Wait, do we have a question? Well, don't we have a question?
Oh, we did have a question. Yeah, we did have a question.
Maybe we should, do we have two? Because maybe we'll just do one this week and one next week, since we've been talking a lot.
I thought we had one question, or I thought we only had one,
well,
but maybe we have two.
There was two, because I sent you another one that was from, let's see. It was on Instagram, and it was from the breastfeeding schedules episode. And we talk a lot about breastfeeding schedules and breastfeeding on demand. And somebody asked, what about bottle feeding? What do you do about schedules and breastfeeding on demand, or providing breast milk on demand when you're bottle feeding?
Yeah, could you please talk about feeding on demand by bottle? That's a great question. How about a mom that pumps and feeds with a bottle? How does feeding on demand work then, especially when babies can be overfed when bottle fed? Thank you so much. I definitely have had families that have fed on demand with bottles. And all you do with that is you make sure you're pace bottle feeding, for one thing. You're giving that baby feeding very slowly, doing paced feeding with them.
We do have an episode on that. And
Yes.
it is an art. So you need to learn how to do it. And so seeing the episode, I also have I have a video. I have like a demo video that I do with my baby doll.
Yeah. Yeah. Abby does it well with her baby doll. And you watch for their cues. Watch for feeding cues, just like you would with breastfeeding and feed on demand, instead of doing a very regimented routine with them. I mean, a lot of people when they bottle feed are on a very regimented schedule. So it is really refreshing when you see a family that is feeding on demand by bottle, because it's just not something that you see as often, but it's still beneficial to be able to do that and just feed them on demand.
And then it becomes a little more complicated when you have a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have to teach them about cues and pace feeding and all of that.
Yeah.
But they just need to they can just watch a video. I'm not the only one in the world who has a video on the internet. You just send them like a little video and, teach them about some of the cues, and hopefully they're open to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. There's really nothing magical about it. It's just watching for those cues. But thanks for the question. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, that is a really good question. And we didn't talk about it in the episode, so that's good.
Yeah. So body changes, lots of things happen when you're breastfeeding. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about these body changes, because we did a long time ago, we did talk about body changes, but just doing it again, because there's a lot of things that can kind of come up and people are like, what? I didn't realize that could happen. And the first thing, of course, is not getting your period. That is the first, I think, probably one of the bigger body changes that happens, because people still, especially if you don't take a breastfeeding class, it's not something that your OB really talks about with you. I don't even know how I learned about it, but you don't get your period back. Most people do not get their period back for several months if they're breastfeeding exclusively. And that is just because of hormonal changes. And you will not get your period, which is a lovely thing because it kind of continues on. Now, you got your period back fast, didn't you?
I did. It was really annoying because I bled for a long time after birth as well. Ugh. And I remember doing the math. I don't remember all the numbers, but I remember bleeding so long after birth that it actually, and then my period came back at, I don't even remember. But I remember it erased all of the whole time where I was pregnant and didn't get my period.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's not fair.
No, it's not. And it's different for everybody, which I think is really kind of confusing, because everybody you talk to, it changes. It's it's different for them. And I recently had a client who was exclusively breastfeeding around the clock and got her period back at 3 months. And it's just different for everyone.
Well, and I was using formula from day one. We were using formula for, I don't know. I don't even know, 2-3 months. So, I mean, it could have just been, that played a little bit of a part that I wasn't exclusively breastfeeding. And
yeah, for sure.
That could have been part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been part of it. Yeah, wow. So you might not, and this can be complicated for people who don't get their period back and who are trying to have another baby. Because we do hear this, how do I get my period back? Do I have to wean? Mm-hmm. And that can be a little bit tricky, to kind of manipulate that, or to try to manipulate it, because your hormones are your hormones. And it's kind of hard to assume that oh yeah, just wean and your period is just going to come back and you can just go ahead and get pregnant again. It's not that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of plan on not having a period for a couple of months at least during that time, and maybe longer.
Yeah. And then also there's people who, have a similar situation to me. And then it's like 2 years and they're like, oh my God, my period's not back. Is there something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no. It's just, we don't really know why. It just happens.
It just happens. The next thing that happens is that your uterus, and I don't think we ever talk about this, but your uterus goes back to a smaller size. Obviously, we need that to happen, but you might feel cramping when you're breastfeeding in those first few days. And especially, like, you might not feel it with the first baby, but usually with the second or the third baby and subsequent babies after that, you really feel it. And people are like, oh my God, like nobody tells you about that. And you get this cramping. And it's when you're breastfeeding, when you start to breastfeed, it releases oxytocin in your system, and oxytocin causes uterine contractions. So when you're breastfeeding, you can really feel that cramping, and it can be really uncomfortable. And like, I've had parents where I've even said to them, like, do you have pain with breastfeeding? And they say only the cramping, because it can feel really strong, like contractions. So that is something that you might feel when you are breastfeeding in those first couple of days. And it doesn't last for long. It's only the first couple of days while your uterus is going down in size. Do you remember feeling that?
Yeah, I do. I think I remember that. Especially, I don't know, is it like, I don't know. Does it increase upon letdown? Or is it just the suckling?
It's just the suckling from what I remember. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember. What I do remember very much is not knowing anything about this with my first, and then having Exley at home, the midwife saying, I had instructions. Like she said, if you start to see an increase in bleeding, I had instructions. Nurse your baby. Nurse, because that will create those uterine contractions. Pee. And I was supposed to take my fingers and push in a little bit towards my uterus and jiggle.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. And those were all things that were supposed to help, I guess, it, contract and slow bleeding down, that's part of, it is amazing. It's amazing. Here's another thing that breastfeeding does, is it controls the postpartum bleeding.
Yeah.
It's all connected. Every which way. Every single fiber of everything is connected.
Yeah. It's wild.
It's so cool.
I know. It really is kind of cool. It really is. So just kind of appreciate it for what it is. It can be uncomfortable. You're going to be taking pain meds anyway, and that will help. So, but definitely appreciate it for what it is. Like, nothing's wrong, but it's just happening with breastfeeding because of the oxytocin release.
Yeah, and those pain meds. I remember when I had Jack in the hospital, I was on like 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, I think it was, or something like that, every certain amount of hours. And this one nurse who was the one I remember the most, who had the most information, she came in and she would say, it looks like you didn't have your ibuprofen. And I'm like, yeah, I feel okay. And she's like, no. Take it every time you're able to, so that you continue to feel comfortable. Like, don't skip it and then wait till you're uncomfortable again. Just take it. And then we're always worried, like, oh God, the baby's going to get it. The baby's fine. Take it. Be comfortable. Do the things that you need to do to be comfortable. And your baby's fine.
It's perfectly safe to take it. It's
perfectly safe. It compares nothing to all the stuff that you just had during labor, which is also fine.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. Definitely stay on top of the pain meds because you want to be comfortable.
I know. It's like when you actually think about, because when I had Exley at home, I went into labor and I called the midwife who at the time, I know we need to take a break, but this is a funny story. So home birth midwives will tell you that babies are born in like spurts because of the moon and if it's all just kind of left to earth.
Yeah.
A lot of babies are born like all in chunks, right? Mm-hmm. So I had just seen the midwives that day, and they all were like bloodshot eyes. They'd been up every night for the past week, and one of them looked at me and she goes, "Please don't go into labor. Please don't go into labor." I was like, okay. And then it was like 5:00 in the morning that night, the next morning. And I called and I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm having contractions. And she was like, okay, have a glass of wine.
Oh my God. It's 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it's 5 in the morning, which I was delighted to do. I was like, oh, okay, great. But she was like, it'll just calm your muscles. It'll just, it could just be false alarm, whatever. So I had a glass of wine. Josh and I are like, we have pictures of us just like hanging out in the middle of the night. And it didn't help. I had Exley, and those poor midwives just came in like, oh, yeah. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Let's take a break.
Wild. Let's take a break.
What the hell did that even relate to? Why? I don't know what that was related to. Oh, the wine. Yeah, because I don't want to take ibuprofen. Well, my midwives were like, have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Totally fine.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Similary Breast Pumps. Similary Breast Pumps wants you to have control of your pumping journey with a continuous focus on research and development and a team comprised of certified lactation consultants. Similary Breast Pumps strives to offer pumps for every lifestyle, from ultra tiny pumps as small as a sticky note to fully adjustable pumps with 85 setting combinations. And that fully adjustable pump with 85 combination settings is 1 pound. So it's not like it's a big honking thing.
Wow.
Either way, you're in control of your pumping journey. With resources like virtual breast shield sizing consultations in English and Spanish, and an exclusive Get the Right Fit program that offers a third set of breast shields for free if the shields included in the box don't fit. Similary gives you vital tools for a successful journey. A safe choice for everyone, all Similary pump parts and storage bags are phthalate, BPA, and BPS free. Better yet, Similary breast pumps can be personalized with a fun pumpkin decal. See their full pump family at similarybreastpumps.com. Similary is CIMILRE breastpumps.com. And use code BADASS for 15% off of your purchase after you check their DME page, or I don't know what the page is called, insurance, something about that. And check if your pump is covered by insurance. And you can head to badassbreastfeedingpodcast.com or the show notes under this episode for the link and the promo code. And you will find at our website all of our other resources, all of our other episodes, and information about scheduling your very own one-on-one online lactation consultation with Dianne.
Yes.
The Dianne.
The Dianne. I did the air quotes. I don't know why I did air quotes with that.
I don't know. That doesn't, no. The Dianne.
Doesn't go with air quotes. So the next one is that your breast may go from feeling full to not so full.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good one. Because people are like, oh, my milk supply is gone.
Yes. That's automatically like the first thing you think of is where'd my milk supply go? Because I don't feel as full as I did before. And this can happen as quickly as like a couple of weeks, that you might go from feeling full, like your milk comes in and you feel full, to, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling as full anymore. Where's my milk supply? Your milk supply is still there. Everything just got acclimated. Your body just acclimated to everything, and your supply got acclimated to what the baby needs, and you are fine. You are fine. You're not supposed to walk around feeling full all the time. That's not normal. And we don't want that for you. So it is very normal for you to not feel as full. And that is expected.
Yeah.
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 That your breasts may change size again too. And that might happen like, months down the road, like if you're, continue to breastfeed or whatever, and you're still breastfeeding and you might be like 4 months in, 5 months in, 6 months in, your breasts might change size again. And if you're pumping and it's still your milk supply is fine, your body is just changing, and always know that your milk supply is fine. This is not going to impact your milk supply. But if you're pumping, you may need to change flange sizes again. That is not uncommon that will happen. Like as you go further down in months, you might need to change that flange size again because your breast changed size. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if pumping becomes a little bit more challenging, like you're not getting as much milk, or it starts to hurt, or it's a little uncomfortable and it was fine before, check on those flange sizes, because it could be that your breasts have changed size or have changed shape and you need to relook at those flanges. That is not uncommon.
Yeah. And you can do that. You can just do a quick resize while you're, switching out some of the tubing and the whatever, parts that you're going to switch out.
Mm-hmm. And of course, if you have a Similary pump, you can just call them and they'll do a sizing with you. But it's definitely not hard to do, and it's really helpful to just do that. And sometimes people are like, oh, I have to go back to work. I'd like to go back to my regular bras again because I'm wearing dressy clothes. Can I do that? And sometimes, you can. Especially if your body has kind of changed size again. You don't always have to wear a nursing bra if you don't want to.
I accidentally bought a nursing bra.
Yes. Oh my God, did you really?
Yes. I was shopping for a bra and I brought it home and I went to put it on and I was like, oh my God damn it, this is a nursing bra. I was like, I just refuse. Even though it could be the best bra in the world. And I'm like, I'm just bringing it back.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That's so funny.
That is hilarious. Oh my God. And our final one is that you may or may not lose weight with breastfeeding. And I know that people talk about losing weight with breastfeeding as being like, oh yeah, you're going to lose, like that's one of the perks of breastfeeding. You're going to lose all this baby weight really fast and, all this stuff. I mean, it is true that your body burns a lot of energy while breastfeeding and that you have to take in more calories while you're breastfeeding than you did even when you were pregnant, which is 500 calories, by the way. You're supposed to eat 500 additional calories when you're breastfeeding. But not everybody loses the weight when they're breastfeeding. It's not that simple for everybody. It's for some people, it just melts off of them. And for some people, it just doesn't.
No, it melted off of me after my first, and after who I wasn't even exclusively breastfeeding for the first bit. And then with Exley, I was exclusively breastfeeding him and it never moved.
And you were breastfeeding too at that point.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I was breastfeeding 2 people.
2 humans.
Yep. It didn't go anywhere. I remember after 6 months, I stood on the scale and I was the exact same weight as I was the day after I gave birth to him.
Wow.
I was like, this is bullshit.
I mean, for me, it did cause me to lose weight, but I wasn't paying attention because I was too busy. So I just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You can, people ask, can you exercise? Can you do all that stuff? Yes. And I think we talked about that recently, didn't we? Talk about
we did. We had an exercise episode all about exercise.
Yeah, we did
exercise
recently.
And weight. That's when I talked about being on Ozempic.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yep. And you can you can go back to an exercise routine and all of that stuff, but it may be sometimes after you stop breastfeeding is when the weight comes off, and it's not always while you're breastfeeding that it comes off.
Yeah. And there's no way to know.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things that you just can't control necessarily, I mean, don't go so far as to like really restrict your calories and really restrict what you're doing and all of that stuff, because that's not worth it. It's not worth it for you to like not feel good, and
they're going to feel so terrible. And it's already so hard having a little baby. Just eat.
Just eat when you have to, eat when you want to.
Eat and be merry.
Eat and be merry. Exactly. And the weight will come off eventually, but it might, it is. And people get really mad too. They'll be like, I was told that I was going to lose weight while I was breastfeeding. Yeah. And it's just, it doesn't always work like that. It just doesn't always work like that.
Yeah, it's true. It sucks. It does suck. It sucks when you're, because you're carrying the weight, can be uncomfortable depending on how much extra you're carrying. And I get it.
But a lot of that weight that you're putting on when you're pregnant is for breastfeeding.
Yeah.
That it's specifically for your body to use it when you're breastfeeding. So your body is burning some energy and some calories while you're breastfeeding. But for some people, it just doesn't budge the weight to go off.
Yeah. I mean, that's what breastfeeding is, like a workout. I mean, like your body, like you're laying on the couch and, somebody's like, oh, you're just laying around all day, or you're saying it to yourself. And that is so not true. That's why you can basically sit around with your baby all day and you're so exhausted, because they're literally sucking the life out of you.
They are, I know. Oh my God. And they do during pregnancy. Oh my gosh. I saw somebody the other day and she was said that she was anemic. And I said, did you lose a lot of blood? Because she had a cesarean. Mm-hmm. And she said, they said it was a normal amount. I said, were you anemic before? And she goes, just from the pregnancy. I'm like, they suck everything out of us. Like they just.
So true. And then people have, and then you're in the hospital. This is what I realized later, is that like they're in the hospital going, oh my God, your baby's crying, your baby is starving, or all this. The baby was born a few hours ago. He sucked the life out of me for 9 months. Mm-hmm. He's fine. He's probably crying because you won't stop poking him. Give him to me and like just let me hold him. Like he'll be fine. Like they make you think like he's going to starve. No, he's not going to starve today.
Right.
He can't possibly starve today. He's been eating and sucking the life out of me for 9 months.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's going to be fine.
Yeah. Everything's going to be fine. Chill out. And then when they start eating and the people are like, oh God, it's not milk. There's not enough milk. They're not getting enough. They're literally supposed to have drops.
Yeah. That's all they need.
This is a tangent, but yeah.
That's all they need. But yeah. That's everything. That's all the changes. I mean, your body does definitely go through lots of changes and hormonal changes and things like that. But these are things that you will physically experience while you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So
and you might just think about all the things that hormones affect. Those can be affected. I mean, like you might like break out and have like a ton of acne, just because your hormones are fluctuating. You're like, what the hell's going on? It's just hormones. Yeah. They're so rude. I was trying to explain this to Jack last night, who's going to be 14. He's very emotional. And I'm like, it's your hormones. They're just going crazy. Mm-hmm. And they dominate your entire existence.
They really do. You think you got them in check, right? Well, by the time you're the age you're having kids, you think you got it down?
Yeah. Well, and depending on how old you are, if you're having a baby, in your, I don't know, in your 40s, which people do these days, you might be going through your own body changes.
Right,
just from,
exactly.
Premenopause or perimenopause. And, then all that's coupled with it. It's
Absolutely.
a roller coaster.
It's such a roller coaster. Oh my God. The hormones, they never stay stable. They're just there to terrorize us. But yeah, that's all the changes not all the changes. Like I said, you experience more, but these are a lot of the physical ones that you will have.
Yeah, and if you have questions, you can ask your doctor. They might just be like, usually the thing is just they're like, oh, it's just because you're a woman. We don't know why. Yeah. But if you have really like questions, you can send us an email.
Yeah, we'll help you where we can.
We can, yeah. I mean, we might say you should talk to your doctor about that. But it might be something, normal. Like breastfeeding, like here's another one. Vaginal dryness.
Oh my God, I was going to put that on the list and then I forgot.
Oh, good. I'm glad I remembered. Okay.
Yes, I am glad you remembered.
Because
that is a big one. Yeah. Yep. Vaginal dryness can be because of lack of estrogen. So that can really be helpful to know that you're going to have vaginal dryness. Right. So sex might be really difficult.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with all of that. We're going through it with you. We're going through it with you.
We're with you.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.